What's up, everybody? Um, let's see if we can knock out a review on this little guy here. Now, I haven't had this knife too long, a few days maybe. So this isn't going to be an in-depth, I've had this knife for several months review, but I can give you my initial first impressions, the thoughts on it as I've been flipping it for a few days now. So first off, the things that I don't like about this knife. We'll get straight to the nitty-gritty. Cerrone's an excellent maker, so we'll knock out the bad stuff and then we can get on to the great stuff about this knife. So two things I don't like. One of them might be something that can change over time. The other one you'll have to modify yourself. So the hardware here is titanium, which is great for an accent piece. It's just not realistic for a user balisong. So if you're going to be cleaning your knife like you should, if you're going to be taking it apart, if you want to tune it yourself, the Thai hardware is just going to strip on you. It's not going to hold up to the hardened steel drivers that you would use to take the knife apart. So for that reason, I get it. It's cool. It looks good. Squid does it, Squid Industries. It's just overall, that's not what you want if you're going to be flipping it. Now, if you're going to hang this on your bally stand, right, if it's just going to sit there, sit in its case, or whatever, then yeah, sure, leave it on there. It doesn't matter. Now, I will say, at least for me, tuning the knife shouldn't be too much of a problem, as mine comes with very little play, and obviously with that there being that little play, there's basically no tap. Well, not basically, there is no tap, but there's basically no play. It's very minor. Yeah. So with that being said, that's really the only bad thing that I have to say about this knife. So let's move on to the good stuff now. So the good thing, it comes in a durable case. I have it, but it's in the other room, and I'm too lazy to go get it. But it does come in a nice case. It's almost like a pelican case, a little pelican case. It holds the knife, just fine. You've got your little Cerrone cleaning cloth in there. You've got the foam in there to protect the knife. You've got your card, your little certificate of authenticity with the information on it. So that's cool. I mean, 10 out of 10 on the packaging, considering a lot of knives come in a cardboard box. The blade shape here is absolutely beautiful. This is the best looking balisong on the market, in my opinion. Don't try and tell me that a V3 Hellcat's better looking. Don't try and tell me the Orca's better looking. Not the Tsunami, not the Seraph. This is the best looking bally, in my opinion. I mean, the only thing I don't own that I just mentioned was the Tsunami. So I have them all. This just looks better. Now, of course, that is subject to the individual, but I can attest to this tip being very pointy. It stuck me pretty good. It stuck into my leg about, let's do it this way, it stuck into my leg about yay far or so. I was doing a choker fan, and I just dropped it, and it went straight into my shin, right above my ankle. I instantly felt cramping and muscle spasms, along with a lot of pain. And had it been a little bit longer, I probably would have needed to go and get stitches, but with it only being about a ½ inch long, there was really no point. But it did go very deep, so I have put this to test, and it does stab very well. So good job, Cerrone. On top of that, you've got two other points, here and here. This is really your primary cutting point if you're going to be using this, and it does do the job, perfectly. I mean, that's a tested blade shape. This is. Does a great job at cutting. Alright, if you're going to be using it, there you go. You've got a nice hollow grind here. This is a two-tone blade. I would only assume that this is hand rubbed hand rub highs, and then it looks like bead blasted lows. So the hand rub looks like it's probably around the 500, 400 grit mark. And overall, I think it gives the knife an excellent, gives it excellent accents. I think it all flows really well together. The handles here are laser engraved, I believe. That's what you see, the cracking here. So that actually is in the tie. It's not just marked on, so it's not going to rub off. And then if you look here, the whole knife. Oh, there we go. If you look, the whole knife has these little lines going up and down it, and that is textured. I mean, that gives you plenty of grip on the knife, which is what you want when you're flipping these things. The last thing you want is a knife that is super slippery and flies out of your hands when if you get sweaty hands, or if you just you can't hold on to it in every scenario, which does happen. You don't always have the best grip on the knife when you're doing things, so they do tend to slide. However, this has plenty of grip to kind of put that problem at bay. It does have some excellent jimping on the sides, love that. Jimping on the insides, love that. Some accents to note here. One is going to be the caroni numbers. You'll have your serial number for this instance. It's number 7. So you've got his logo and number 7 right there, which I absolutely love. A lot of people hate as well whenever the makers make a big logo right in the middle of the blade and it just doesn't flow. So that subtle detail right there is absolutely phenomenal. Couldn't be more pleased with that. Another little detail is going to be right here. You can see we've got a carbon fiber, I believe is what that is, insert up top right here, which is very nice. Now this knife is a pinless design, so there are no tang pins. It is just like the Orca or the Monarch, more like the Orca. So this is impacting on the titanium here, which I think might be one of the reasons why the sound, which is one thing I don't like, the sound of this knife might be one of the reasons why this knife doesn't sound so well, because it's only impacting on it's only impacting on this side here, and then on this side it's only impacting, look at it off camera here, it's only impacting on this side here. So I think maybe with time, with it wearing in, because it is a very new knife, it might have a break-in period here to where it sounds a little bit better. We'll do a sound test. And the reason that I also think that might be something that that will happen in the future with the knife breaking in is because since I've had it, it's already starting to sound better with the break-in period. So I can only hope that the knife does continue to get a little bit better in the sound department, and then as soon as it does, really the only thing that's lacking is that hardware, which can be replaced. I think that it's something that shouldn't need to be. I would rather have a knife that has hardware that's functional rather than for the looks. Now I do get what he was going for, so it is what it is. No big issues there. It will be interesting to see how the handle gap holds up over time. My Bally Viper was just fine, so I don't think that it'll have too many problems, and it is just like the Orca for the most part in the design up here. So now I can't attest to the approach angles and the angling in here, but it seems very similar to the Orca. in that regards. So we shall see. Is speed channel. The overall knife, we're looking at a 10-inch Bally with what is it? 4.2 ounces on the weight. It is handle bias, not horribly, but it is. This knife is very good at technical stuff, so you can really do some fast flipping with it. It doesn't carry the momentum as much as, like a hybrid rep or something very heavy, a Hellcat V3. No weight reduction, of course. It doesn't carry the weight as well as one of those, but it does have, it's like a race car. If you want it to turn, it turns. If you want it to stop, it stops. So as long as you have the skill level to keep up with that, you'll be just fine with the flipping department. Of course, this knife has excellent tolerances. Yeah, man, I love this knife. This is absolutely one of the best looking knives in my collection. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off here because I don't want to make this knife too long, and we'll see if there's a need for an update later down the road. But as of right now, I love the knife. It flips great. It's not my favorite flipper, just because it does struggle to carry the momentum in some ways, and it does have I don't know, there's just a weird thing to it that I haven't quite figured out. But I can pick this knife up and do all of my tricks with it. There was no learning curve, none of that stuff. So in my eyes, I would consider this a grail knife, because there wasn't a get used to it period. I could pick it up and do, triple aerials, do my choker fans easily, flip it over concrete without having to worry about dropping it because it felt comfortable. But with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and cut it off here. Excellent knife. If you can pick one up for, I think MSRP was like $1,200, $1,300. Honestly, I'd even pay up to $1,500. Now, that doesn't mean you should. That's up to you. This is just, for me, I would. Luckily, I didn't technically pay that much for it, but I did make a pretty nice trade. The other person should be relatively happy with what they got. So all in all, I'm in this knife about $1,400 trade value wise, whatever. So I'll take it, and it's a beautiful knife. I love it. Probably won't ever get rid of it, knock on wood. I said that about my Bally Viper, and then I got rid of it, but I got a knife that looks a lot like it, so we'll count it. Anyway, great job, Caroni. Excellent knife, great flipper. I wish the hardware was a little bit different. Other than that, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. So grab yourselves one if you can. If you can't, that's fine too. Watch some videos of other people flipping them. It is what it is. Alright, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.